Good morning, students. Today we are having a presentation on fertilization. In this, we will discuss about the fertilization, which is a part of reproductive system. We will discuss this with the help of a video. In fertilization, the process of sexual intercourse occurs, and in sexual intercourse, it is the point. It is called as orgasm. Orgasm, orgasm. So at the orgasm, it is the sexual culminating point at which the satisfaction of male and female occurs, and during that the ejaculation from the male occurs, and in the ejaculation the semen release the sperms into the vagina, and that point is called as orgasm. And during this process almost 300 million sperms are get entered into the vagina, but out of them only one is able to do fertilization. So it is a very tedious process, and it is very competitive, means there is competition between almost 300 million sperms. So they will compete with each other, and though the journey is not too much for us, but it is a miles for them, because they are very tiny in shape, they are very small in shape. So the journey is very far away for them to reach out that place. So that's why most of the times they doesn't reach out towards the ovum, and journey also filled with lots of obstacles, lots of problems. Now during this, the lots of sperms are destroyed. The destruction has been occurred due to the acidic environment which is into the vagina, and due to which thousands of these sperms lose their life, and remaining will proceed into the journey. Now they will start to go toward the cervix. The cervix is normally closed, only it opens for 1 to 2 days during ovulation. Only in that period it will open, otherwise it will completely closed. And the passage also very narrow. Here you can see passage is very narrow, through which only few sperms can enter, and remaining can't enter. Remaining will remain outside. So it will open, and passage also very small, very narrow passage there, so through which the few sperms will get entered, and they will start their journey towards the uterus. Now toward the uterine passage they will get entered, and they will start to go proceed. Again, due to the environment, lots of these sperms are losing their life. Again they can be destroyed into the acidic environment of this uterus, because it is hostile for these sperms. It is highly acidic, and due to which more than half sperm going to be die into the uterus. Still their journey will continue. They will try to proceed, try to move forward. That's why we have to maintain the sperm count more than 50 to 100 million per ml. If it is less than that, the sperm quantity or the population of sperm is going to be less, and due to which they are not able to attain toward the oocyte or toward the egg. So that's why the number should be normal, so that whatever the causality has been occurred, but in spite of that some of them should reach out toward the egg. Now still the journey is going to be continue, but still in the uterus the phagocytosis process will occur, and due to which the sperms can be destroyed, they can be engulfed by this phagocytosis. So which is the immune response from the uterus, and they will kill the maximum amount of thousands of these sperm can be killed by phagocytosis. Here you can see. So these sperms are remain intact, means the sperms are immotile. They are stuck to the wall of the uterus, which is Stactus functionalis. So to this wall they are stuck, they won't move forward. But still the sperms who are very strong, they will go forward, they will proceed. Here the thing is that the sperms who is very strong, only that sperm is able to reach out toward the egg. Remaining the weak sperms or the sperms which are not able to defend themselves, all will die. Now again, only few thousands are remain to go toward the fallopian tube. Now here, now this is the egg. Meanwhile, what happens? The egg is there, so that egg also try to come out toward the fallopian tube. It come out from the ovary and it will go toward the fallopian tube, and where the process of fertilization is going to be occur. So here also the journey will continue. So the egg will come out from here and the sperm will try to come toward the fallopian tube. But meanwhile, again here in the fallopian tube, at the cilia, this is the cilia, where lots of sperms is going to be obstruct. They can be bound, they can be blocked, and due to which they can die, they will become immotile. And due to this, only few are remain to reach out toward the now due to the environment of this fallopian tube and also the environment of the sperm, the external environment of the sperm, that environment give energy to the sperm, and due to which they will become more active, they will become more energetic, and this process is called as capacitation. The capacitation occurs into the sperm, due to which they will become more strong, and now they will become more active, and due to which they are having full of energy, and that few sperms will go more fastly, more actively. Yes, here you can see they are going very fastly, they are going toward the egg, and only during this journey the capacitation will occur. This environment only provide them energy, provide them the environment to become more active and more strong and more motile, and due to which they will move forward. And finally, this is the target. This is the egg, female egg, secondary oocyte, fully fertilized, fully developed, fully matured, and now it is ready for fertilization. This fertilization occurs into the fallopian tube. Now here, this is the external layer of this ovum or this egg is of corona radiata. This corona radiata, the granulosa cells are there. They are also not allowing to get entered because they contain one enzyme, it is called hyaluronidase. But when the sperms comes there, they will react with this hyaluronidase, and they will try to enter through this granulosa cell. Means they will bypass this corona radiata. It is at the radial position, that's why it is called as corona radiata. It is the external layer of egg. Now after that they will come here and they will try to reach out there, but only few will try to get entered, try to get and pass. Only few will try to cross that granulosa cells, and they will act with the enzyme hyaluronidase. Yes, now here they will reach out toward this last layer of this egg, which is called as zona pellucida. This zona pellucida receptor is there, ZP3 receptor is there, and to which the typical sperm which is going to be bind them, they will react to that receptor, and after that they will get entered. And also the changes occurs into the sperm. The sperm's acrosome release the enzyme. Digestive enzymes are there. Only that digestive enzymes are able to digest the layer of zona pellucida. They will digest them, they will clear them, and due to which they will make passage, they will make hole, they will make perforation into this zona pellucida, and after that they will able to enter. So here you can see, out of this 300 million, only one out of them, only one is able to reach out that zona pellucida. They will bind to that ZP3 receptor and they will get entered, they will get inside. Now this entry occurs, yes, due to this enzyme can be released by this acrosome of the, which is the cap, which is the head of the this sperm. So it releases the enzyme, digestive enzyme, and it will get entered. Here you can see it has been entered. And mind it well, as soon as it will get entered, another reaction occurs. Whatever the zona pellucida layers are there, they are increasing the level of calcium. Here they will increase the calcium, and here as soon as it will pass the layer of zona pellucida, it will break the layer of pellucida, it will get inside toward the this internal part, which is the yolk. It will come here and it will bind here. So it is ready to react with the sperm here. As soon as the sperm will come here, immediately fusion will occur. The internal egg will immediately do fusion. This is the genetic material. It will do fusion immediately, and the process of fertilization has been started. Now as the fusion continues, meanwhile what happens here? Meanwhile, at the layer of zona pellucida, and also this is the layer which is of egg. So during here, whatever the sperms are trying to get entered, they are not no more no more entry is there. So they are not accepted here. They can be blocked. Why? Because there is increase the level of calcium into the cells of zona pellucida, and also into the layer of these egg cells, internal layer of these egg cells, due to which the sperms are remain outside and they are not able to perforate the layer. Here you can see they are not able to perforate, and they will release the chemicals. Here you can see the chemicals are released, and due to which they are destroyed, they are not allowed. Only in case of twins, at the same time two sperms are get entered at the same time. That's why the twins are possible, otherwise it is just impossible. If a minute nanosecond difference is there to enter into the zona pellucida, so that difference is sufficient to kill the next sperm. Whatever next sperms will, whatever number of sperms will get try to enter, but they are not allowed to get entered. So in this fashion, so they are not allowed. The chemical continue release of chemical is there, and due to will they will become immotile and they will die. So in this fashion, the same process occurs here at the layer of zona pellucida also. Now here we are discuss now this is the layer of zona pellucida, and earlier we have discussed regarding the internal layer of zona pellucida, where the receptors are available, ZP3 receptors are available. To that also the sperms can't able to join, they can be blocked. So here also the layer becomes very hard, very tough to them. Earlier the acrosomal enzymes, digestive enzymes are able to destroy the layer, but now it become very tough. So no any enzyme, no any chemical is able to destroy or able to lose the layer, and in this fashion the no more no polyspermy will be there, means no extra sperm is able to get entered inside the zona pellucida into the egg. for fertilization. Now this the process of fertilization is going to be continue here. Now it will try to develop the chromosomes here. The internal nucleic acid, the DNA, will try to do the process of the cell division will occurs. Here the centrioles are remain at the two poles, and they will do the cell division. They do the division of chromosomes, and they will produce the 23 numbers of chromosomes, each in case of male gamete as well as in case of female gamete. Both the gametes are here. In the both the gametes, the cell division will continue, and the process of development of 23 chromosome in each gamete will still continue. And after the formation of 23 chromosomes in the male and female gamete, now they will try to come closer. Yes, here you can see now the male gamete and female gamete, they will come closer, and after that the process of fertilization will start to continue. Here you can see the centrioles are here. From the centrioles, they are connecting both the male and female gametes, and completely mixing of these chromosomes, 23 chromosomes from male, 23 chromosomes from female, completely mixing occurs, and they will form new offspring. They will form the newborn baby, which contains 46 chromosomes. Out of them, the 2 chromosomes for sex determination, and remaining are autosomes. So in this fashion, the process of fertilization is going to be complete. Here you can see both are aligned at the center, and from here again they will do the division, and they will show the characteristics. So that's why whatever the inheritance will occur, in that inheritance, that if it is dominant, and there are two types of inheritance occurs, dominance and recessive. In case of dominance, if male are dominating, so characters of only male will dominate into the offspring. If females chromosomes are dominating, in that case the females characters are come, or they will release into the offspring. If both are mixed, in that case the recessive or mixing characters will come into the fetus or new offspring, and that characters are nothing but the color of hair, color of skin, color of the pupil, size of face, their height, the body structure, their intelligence, their behavior, and disease also. If any color banded disease is there, or thalassemia, or sickle cell anemia, or cystic fibrosis, so like that the various things are going to be shared here. So that's why I am telling you that if the chromosomes or the genes are heterogenic, means they are far away from the family members, so it is good for us. That's why we are initiating to do the marriage who are far away from each other, means there is no relation in between the ancestors, brothers, sisters. These relations are not allowed to do the mating. That's why from the, and better way if you go for the intercaste marriage or interreligion or intercontinent marriage. That's why the people from the European countries, they always prefer to do the inter-country marriages, means the